Hello there, and welcome back to The Sofa and Writing from Scratch with me, Tom. Today, we're talking about a super important thing that you must be doing in order to become a good writer. But that's not according to me, that's according to some of the best-selling authors of all time. The writer Stephen King is one of the best-selling authors of the 20th century, and he's also one of the key proponents of today's topic. In his book on writing, King stresses the importance of reading in order to become a good writer. If you want to be a writer, you must do two things above all others: read a lot and write a lot. Reading is the creative center of a writer's life. King is not alone, as you might imagine, in encouraging writers to read as much as possible to improve their writing skill. George R. R. Martin, writer of the best-selling A Song of Ice and Fire series, also supports this and said, "A reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies. The man who never reads lives only one." J.K. Rowling, despite her recent controversies, is undoubtedly a successful author, and she also espouses the sheer importance of reading as much as possible to become a good writer. Read as much as you possibly can. Nothing will help you as much as reading. So when researching how to become a writer, this is one of the big things that has stood out to me immediately. And all great writers seem to support it. You can go back in history and find many quotes of successful authors who all promote reading as a really great activity to improve your writing. But something that's often lost in the quotes and the sound bites is why. Not why is reading so important, that's a different topic, but why is reading important to becoming a great writer? Well, let's explore that a little bit more. At a fundamental level, reading more is important for helping you understand how a good book is created, how the story develops, how the characters are made, all the steps that go into creating a story that flows. William Faulkner once likened this to carpentry and has a really famous quote where he says, "Just like a carpenter who works as an apprentice and studies the master, read, you'll absorb it." So, if we read more, then in theory, that should improve our writing. But this isn't about copying the structures and ideas of other writers. It's about finding styles and patterns that really resonate with you, and then emulating those in your own writing style to create a book that is then personal for you. Haruki Murakami is another proponent of this idea, and is famous for saying, "I think the first task for an aspiring novelist is to read tons of novels. To write a novel, you must first understand at a physical level how one is put together." Okay, so reading a lot is great for getting an understanding of the craft and the structure of a novel. But I'm not an English student. I'm not an expert at book analysis. So how can I understand if a book is good or bad and what the qualities are that make it such? Well, again, many authors have a really simple theory, which is to read everything. And they really do mean everything. Lots of writers support reading good books, bad books, mediocre books, and all different kinds of genres. They support this for a really simple reason, which is that subconsciously, as you read more, you will understand which books are good and which are not. Maybe you can't explain why, I certainly can't, but you should have an innate understanding, if you read enough, of what constitutes a good book from a bad book. Right, so now we know we need to read, and we need to be reading everything. Fantastic. But again, how do I decide where to start? There are millions of books out there, and it's just impossible that I can read everything. So where do I begin? How do I decide that starting point? So for me, what I'm going to be doing, because I couldn't find a clear answer, is I'm just going to be searching for the genres that I know I'm interested in now. So when I go on Amazon or other book stores, I'm just going to be searching for the books that I enjoy. But at the same time, because I want to encourage myself to read everything, I am going to try and dabble in genres that I wouldn't usually pick up. Finally, let's talk about time. How much time should you be spent reading? Well, this is a question that I don't have an answer for, and none of the authors that I researched had a definitive answer either, because all of our lives are different. We have work and commitments and family and friends that we also need to give our time and attention to as well. Some people like to read for 5 hours at 2 a.m, others for 30 minutes on their lunch break. It really depends on you. It's a very personal experience. For me, I'm going to be trying to read as much as possible. I'm going to be aiming for around 1 or 2 hours every day. I'm not going to make this a hard and fast rule because I know that on certain days there's going to be circumstances that get in the way of this. But really, most authors agree that you should just be trying to read as much as possible. So don't be too hard on yourself if you can't find the time to read a lot. Just know that anything is useful. So that's all we have time for on today's episode. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope that you feel more encouraged to try and read in order to become a successful author. Please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing the video with your friends, and I'll see you all next week. Thank you very much.